Good evening, Warriors! Back with another episode of Vigor Warriors 2 and the 1% Club. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are having a good evening. I have a few minutes. I'm going to kind of do another one on my list here. So hope you guys are keeping up with the battle and the conquest and continue to do things that make you the best man or woman you can be. And that's wonderful. So a lot of good comments. I have to catch up with them this week. A couple I thought was interesting. A few people asked me about caffeine. I try not to drink caffeine. Regular pop I used to drink a lot of. I stay away from that now. So I'm even tea. I'm doing the some of the tea that is non-caffeinated. So I try to stay away from that because I stay up all night. If I would, I don't need a lot of sleep, but caffeine will even keep me up longer, and so I will at times need to have some sleep. So I try to get at least 4 or 5 hours of sleep if I can. But I do lots of things, and so I try to keep up, and I don't really need a lot of sleep at this point. And that's one of the reasons why I talk about all this, because of the energy that I feel is a lot different than it used to be. When I was back in the old days releasing, and I could not go on 4 or 5 hours of sleep. Now I feel like I can, and I can get everything done that I need to get done, and I love getting up in the morning, and I love doing things, and there's just a different zest for living, different vitality, and it's a whole different type of thing for me. So I'm just so grateful for that. I'm also grateful for you guys, a great deal grateful for you guys giving me comments, likes, topics all the time, and all the things that we need to do to kind of talk about, things I love talking about. I love this topic because it's just impacted me a great deal, and I love talking about this if we can, and hopefully helping someone out there. I think we're in a world that is a matrix right now. I think there's lots of people who think certain ways that have been trained and brainwashed in that way, and we're finding out that that's not the way to go. And listening to those people have just gotten us to worse and worse problems. And I think it's time to become independent warriors and thinkers, and to be able to kind of separate the differences between right and wrong. So I'm going to focus on a comment from a great viewer, Alan. Thank you, Alan, for this one. This is an interesting one. It says, "Buy me gold, tried in the fire." So I thought that was very interesting, and I'll kind of give you my interpretation of this. So Alan, I may be totally off base, but I want to kind of talk about this one a little bit, because I think that this goes to really the premise that I believe our generations and generations, if we have kind of over the years, we have not been tried in the fire. Now, what I mean by that is the fact that a person who has life easy handed to them, not having to struggle, doesn't become a strong person. And though it may be the easiest course of least resistance, and parents, I know I raised 3 children, it's hard not to give your kids something better than you had. And doing that as I did, I have to watch out that they also didn't have struggles and things that they had to deal with. Struggles make you better. Struggles will make you achieve more. And so something that's tested in the fire, something that has to be something you have to go through to get to, makes you value it more. Something that's free, my friends, you don't value. I don't care if it's education. I don't care if it's women who are all over the place are coming at you. You get this, you can access them free, anything you want with them. You don't appreciate that as much. Not if having one person who develops something with trials and error, working with them, all of a sudden that's a different situation. So this is why we talk about the fact that even people who have random intercourse all the time, they think it's free. They think there's no consequences. Well, there's lots of consequences. I don't care if you're talking about diseases. I don't care if you're talking about, DNA in people. I don't care what you're talking about. There's lots of things, and even the emotional type of thing. Every time you do it, releasing over and over again, what's that going to happen to your soul? What's going to happen to you? So this is why we say nothing is free. You have to earn these things in the land of God. You have to earn these things. And you do that really by the purpose, by your discipline, by the fact that you're working hard to keep it. You're challenged all the time. You're saying, I'm not going to do these things other people do. I know this is not right for me. I know gambling's not right for me. I know that overeating's not right for me. I know that having sex with multiple women is not right for me. I know this stuff, drinking, drugs, all these things. I know it's going to hurt me more than help me. And we have all our addictions. But the thing is, you've got to try the best you can to work on these day to day. Work on yourself. Become that strong warrior that we all know each one of us can become. And you'll see yourself in a rapid difference in the way life treats you, the way that people talk with you, the way they, they're interacting with you. All those things change. So we go back to retention. We go back to self-discipline. We go back to the fact that you're going to be tried. What I mean by tried in this case, you're going to be tempted. I think this whole world is one big temptation for people. And can they have the strength? Can they have the endurance to overcome this and win that conquest battle of themselves? And if they conquest themselves, then all of a sudden they conquest everything around them. So Alan's comment is great. The gold has to be tested, right? You're forging steel, right? And the idea is that as you put yourself under the fire, now your sword is tough, right? Steel is forged. And that means steel is something that becomes strong. Why do you think warriors carry around steel? They don't carry around glass swords, right? Their steels are forged in blood, forged in tough types of things that they go through, battles. They're battle tested. Warriors are battle tested. That means they're going through times, right? I have not had an easy life, but I'm very grateful for that. The way I look at things now is that God is communicating to me, and if he's not giving me problems, he's not talking to me. So that means I better watch out, because I'm growing every day with the Lord. And he's giving me different problems to solve, to keep moving, never give up. And he's teaching me something every day. And you're the same way. He's teaching you different things every time. And so we're being forged in that heat to make the best sword, the best person possible we can become. And I think when we learn what we're talking about in this world, where people are always taking the lack of responsibility. We live in a world where people don't want responsibility. They take the easy way out. I don't care if it's athletes who are acting like children. I don't care if it's men or women who are acting like, wussies. I don't care what it is. You have people who are not mentally strong anymore. And how do you do that? Well, you put yourself out there in tough situations and you say, I am going to stop doing this. I don't care what people say. I know this is not good for me. I've done my research on this, and I'm not going to go ahead and put this in my body. I don't care if it's caffeine. I don't care if it's any kind of drug, shots, whatever it might be. You've got to stand up. And when you do that, now you start forging yourself. You start forging that person, that steel sword, into something that becomes something that's a powerful force. And now you're using that energy to become stronger. And so you're forging that sword into something that's going to become almost impossible to defeat. And this is what you have to do. And this is why semen retention becomes important. Because you're stopping something that everybody else is doing. At least it seems like everybody else is doing, right? And now you're saying, I'm going to not do this. I am not going to be tempted by pictures. I'm not going to be tempted by people who have lack of responsibility, who basically will just have no values at all, and they're going to throw their body at me, or they're going to throw money at me, they're going to throw cars at me, they're going to throw things, and if I give into that, if I sell my soul, then I'll get all those benefits for a short period of time. And then they've sold their soul out. If they sell their soul out, all of a sudden now they've lost. And that's something you have to watch out. Lots of people think they can beat the system. But God knows what they're playing. And this is why what comes around always goes around. Whether you want to talk about karma, whatever you want to talk about it. People who cheat the system always come back. My issue, my friends, is that I see the history of mankind. And what I've seen over time, whether it's Babylon, whether it's Sodom and Gomorrah, the Incas, the Mayas, the Romans, the English, after about 250 years, people, when they first start building a colony or a community, they go ahead and they are self-disciplined. They're working together. They have no time to fool around and waste their energies, waste their times, and all these similar small pleasures that they all get, entertainment and pleasures. But when they start getting success, all of a sudden they forget how it was built. And now that's when the devil can get to them. And it's happened over and over again, and there's no different in our society. We're seeing a bunch of people right now who are just like Sodom and Gomorrah. And all you could do is look at TV and find them all. They're right there. So we have to make a stand. We may be the only 1% left in the long run. But the bottom line is you have to continue to go against the matrix and understand that they're trying to get you to be a certain person. And a male and a man should never be that type of person. You should never be a wuss head who gives in to everything, have no strength, no mental toughness, and most of all, you shouldn't be that person who is not forged in steel, forged in difficulties, forged in overcoming things in your life. If you have not overcome things in your life, you've been given everything, well then you'll see the difference life is when you first hit your first difficulty. Some people commit suicide. Some people can't handle it. The idea, guys, is that you have to build yourself tough. And you start by self-sacrifice. And the first self-sacrifice is retention. Taking cold showers, another way, right? Fasting is another way. All these things build toughness inside of you. And that's going to keep you strong. All right, my friends. Alan, thank you, my friend. Shout out to you, my friend. Great comment. I love the quote. And we'll focus on another one tomorrow. Until tomorrow, guys. God bless you guys. Remember, every day is a new day to a great warrior. And remember, battle on, my friends. Battle on!